Okay guys, welcome to FAQ Fridays, where every Friday I answer your frequently asked questions. Now today's question is, why is my leopard gecko spending so much time in the cold end? I know it's a very catchy title, however so many people have been asking me this recently. I thought, is this an autumnal thing? Is this to do with fall and autumn? Like, the seasons change, and I have to say I do notice my leopard gecko's behaviour changing slightly, but it seems like so many people have asked me this question, I thought it's the right time to do this video. Now, I haven't had to deal with this so much, so I don't have tons of experience with this, but I can offer a few reasons why this occurs and a few tips to prevent this or stop this happening. So number one, temperature. It's important that you keep the temperature at the ideal heat. Don't have it too hot, because obviously then your gecko will be in the cold section. Don't have it too cold, otherwise your gecko won't function properly. Always have a thermometer on the heat mat. So you can get these so cheap, you don't even have to get a brand name one. You can get what I use, which is just a fridge thermometer, and it's like £2 or £3. And it just reads the temperature of the heat mat, and I keep my heat mat at 32 to 34 degrees, and to keep the heat mat at that temperature I use a thermostat. These are a little expensive, and for years I didn't use one. I just turn the heat mat off at night, but in winter it gets quite cold, so the thermostat really helps keeping up that temperature. Now, the next reason this can happen is if you've got any leftover feeder insects in the tank. These are such a pain because they'll gather on the hot end where your gecko wants to sleep, and then they'll irritate and nibble your gecko, and in the end your gecko will just give up and move to the cold hide. Another reason may be that the hide is too humid. I know some people keep their moist hide or humid hides over the heat mat, but if the humid hide is the only hide you have over your heat mat, then that's just going to be far too humid for your gecko on a daily basis, and they may stray away to the cold end. The other reason linked to that one may be that they're shedding. This is the hide I use for when they're shedding. This is also sort of their cold hide, so it is not unusual to see them in here when they're going to shed. And the last reason would be that sometimes the hide that you're using just isn't suitable. So if you have a hide with a bottom on it like this one, it's just sometimes the heat can't get through, so even though you think you're providing a hot hide, that hide's probably just as cold as any other hide in the tank, so it doesn't matter where that gecko goes, it's still going to be cold. Now, should you be worried about this? If it's a baby, then babies tend to stray away from the heat mat sometimes, especially if you give them a really big tank. So simply pick them up, put them sort of near the heat mat so they can go around it, see if they want to go there. If it's an adult, like what Ziggy is doing at the moment, I can't believe it, she hasn't done this in months, and then today of all days she actually stays in her cold end, then I would say in the daytime I'd leave her probably. She probably just wants to sleep, sorry Zig. But in the evening time I'd pick her up, I'd say okay, warm up on my hand a little bit, and make sure she's getting some heat even though it's from my hand, because our hand temperature is actually nice and warm. And what I will do here is I'll show you what you do with a baby. A baby would pick it up, put it near the hot end, be like, where do you want to go? Right, let's just put this back. So you give them that option where they want to go. You can do this with an adult, but adults tend to be able to sort out their temperature a lot better than babies, so I usually leave it up to adults. She's just looking around, so she'll decide. But with a baby I would be more concerned because they can stray away from their heat source by accident, whereas adults tend to do it more on purpose because they know their tank and everything. Now, as I said, in the evening time with my adults, if I've seen them in the cold end all day, I'll probably take them out and hold them so they warm up. And then I'll check on them the next day. If they're gone to the cold hide again, I'd seriously look at what is wrong with the hot hide. Is there something wrong over in that area? Don't be too concerned if you pick up your gecko and they're cold, because they can't shiver to get warm and they can't sweat to get cool. So they are just the temperature of their environment. So if they're in a cold end, yes, they're going to be cold. So that's just a normal thing. And sometimes it's just you have to move stuff around. If nothing else works, then try moving a heat mat to a different spot. Maybe there's too much light shining in the tank that the only dark, nice hide is a cold hide. So with this one, I might want to tilt it this way or put it sideways, just so there's not so much light going in, so she'll be fine. Where are you going to go, Zig? I think she's going to go in the cold end again. So yeah, sometimes you just have to move things around, and that's the only answer. There she goes. She's going to go in there. There you go. So they are all my tips and reasons why this occurs. As I said, I haven't had too much experience with this where I've been really concerned because the heat mats I use are really controlled and everything. So if you've tried everything I've said and your gecko's still in its cold hide, you may have to look around a little bit more for some more information from people who have experienced this a lot more than me. But anyway, I hope this video has helped, and thank you very much for watching.